At number 5, they said calculate the value of the expression when x is minus 2. We said very important, whenever we substitute, please use brackets. Otherwise, it is going to be completely wrong. Right. Any questions at 5? Okay. Then at number 6, it just said normal calculate. Now at 6a, there wasn't really any steps you could show. So you'll see I skipped directly to the answer. Then at B, you actually had to show me this part where those two negatives would become a positive. Okay, so that was 1 mark. And then for the final answer, you'd get your 2nd mark. Okay, any questions there? Can I skip? Right. Then number 7, they asked me to simplify the following. So what I had to do here is look for like terms. We can only add or subtract those that have the same unknown, meaning like terms. So you'll see the 16a squared and the minus 32a squared gave me that minus 16a squared. And then the minus 21b plus 19b gave me the minus 2b. Okay. Yes? That was pretty straightforward, so you could have skipped just to the answer. But the ones that I give you in the test will not be that simple. You're definitely going to have to show an extra step and then. Okay. Right. At B, 7b, I grouped the ones together that's got an x squared, so minus 5x squared, minus 14x squared, and that gives me minus 19x squared. You guys are busy with something not math related. Better. Okay, and then 7x minus 32x would give me that minus 25x. Okay, then at 8a and b, please remember they asked you to solve x. In this case, they just said write down the value of x. We've got to move around. And whenever we move to the other side of the equal sign, remember that it becomes the inverse. So a plus becomes a minus. Division becomes multiplication. You guys know what I mean? No? Right. Any questions at 8? Okay. Number 9, they said calculate. So over here, you could, the only one that you had an extra step was at C, because I first had to do the multiplication part. Over here, BODMAS was important. So I left the 32 on its own first and then said minus 14 times minus 3. And that's going to give me a positive 42. And then it's a normal addition. Okay, so 32 plus 42 gives me 74. Any questions at 9? Yeah. Yeah. There we go. Okay, any questions at 9? Can I skip? No one's still copying? Okay. There is 9D. At 9D, again, BODMAS was very important. So you first had to multiply and divide. And then those answers I could go and add. Okay, so over here, that middle step is important. You had to write that down. Okay, then at 10, they just said simplify. Now remember, when I've got two brackets next to each other, we're actually saying I must multiply them. And a negative times a negative gives me a positive. 15 times 30 gives me 450. And x times y squared will give me xy squared. Then at B, you could have left it like that, or I know some kids like writing it in the form of a fraction. No, because when you write it like this, the y is actually at the top of the fraction. You took y and y squared. You're only allowed to take one. Yes. Yeah. Okay, and remember about your negative. You haven't got a negative either. Okay. Right. It is. Okay, have a look at B. What I did here is we had to scratch out. And I'll take it away just now because I don't like what it looks like. So 12 will go into itself once and 12 go in there 7 times. Then at the top I've got x squared, but at the bottom only x. And I can only take the lowest one. So I take x at the bottom, which means I take one of those. There were 2, so now there's only 1 left. You can write x to the power of 1, but it's not necessary. The same with the y's. I've got y at the top and at the bottom y to the power of 2. I'm only allowed to take y. So I take y at the top, so one of them at the bottom. So at the top you'll see I've got minus 7x and at the bottom 1y. So that's the same as minus 7x over y. Okay. Any questions there? Right, can I skip? Yeah. No, because if you write minus 7xy, it means that this y you're not putting at the bottom of the fraction because that's the same as this. And that y mustn't be at the top, it must be down here. So that's going to be completely wrong. Okay. Any other questions? Yeah. Let's take the instance in the case where number 10, if you swap the x and the y. That's, yeah. Can I skip? Yeah. Remember, I'm going to use something different. Minus a half is the same as minus 1 over 2. And it's also the same as 1 over minus 2. Okay. Right. Can I skip? Then 11a. Okay. So that to the power 3 applies to the negative and the 3. And negative 3 to the power 3 is actually positive. Oh, I'm lying. Negative, sorry. Negative 27. Then minus, and cube root of negative 125 will be negative 5. Now, these two negatives will then become a positive 5. Do you guys agree? And that means that your final answer will be negative 22. Yes. Did you just have minus 5? Same thing. That's right. Okay, B, minus 6a squared. You guys, can I quickly answer this? It's seductive. Sorry, guys, with my son is 6. Okay, right. So minus 6a to the power of 2 over, and then at the bottom, 3a squared times minus 2a squared. Okay, so let's sort out that bottom part first. So that to the power of 2 applies to the 3 and to the a. So that's actually 9a squared. Now, I can't just leave it like that. Because I have to multiply that with the next answer as well, I'm going to keep it in brackets for now. Okay. Right, then over here, that to the power of 2 applies to the minus 2 and to the 8. So minus 2 times minus 2 gives me positive 4, and then a squared. Minus 2 times minus 2. Who asked now? Where? Okay, so that is what I'm looking at. Minus 2 to the power of, minus 2a to the power of 2. Remember, that's the same as minus 2a times minus 2a. And the two negatives will then become a positive. Are you with this one or the next one? The 9. Okay. Right. So if you just look at that one for now. That's 3a times 3a. And that's going to give me 9a squared. Okay, then this one over here, right, this one over here is minus 2a squared, and that's the same as minus 2a times minus 2a. And that gives me positive 4a squared. But because I still have to multiply them, I'm keeping them in brackets. Okay. Right, so now let's go and multiply. At the bottom, 9 times 4 gives me 36, and a squared times a squared gives me a to the power of 4. But, do you guys see that this can be simplified further? No?
Maybe just take the minus 6 times the 9.
No, then 9 times the 4 gave me that 36. Yeah, I write a lot of steps. Sorry? Yes, 9 times 4 gives me 36, and a squared times a squared would give me a to the power of 4. I can't just multiply the coefficients. Okay, right, so now you'll see that 6 will go in once and 6 will go in 6 times. I can take a squared, which means I can take a squared at the bottom. So there will be 2 left. No?
Yes.
Do you guys see that? So I am going to have, I want to get all of that away. So I'm going to have minus 1 over 6a to the power of 2. Who got that? Good.
I got that, except I skipped the second step
That's fine.
and the third step and just
So you went from here to there.
no, ma'am, I went from there to minus 6a to the power of 2 over 36. And then,
So to there and then the answer.
yes.
Yeah, it's fine. It's good. I'm just showing every step so everyone knows what's going on. There was a question here as well. Was it you?
No, ma'am, I was saying that I was.
Oh, right. There was another hand up. Is everyone fine?
Ma'am, is it trying for minuses in front of both?
Yes. Okay, so can I skip to C? Okay, so this was a nice and easy one. Please remember that that minus has got nothing to do with what's going on in the square root. So it's minus Then square root of 121 is 11ab. Just that. But now I'm not gonna rewrite this whole thing, but we could break it up and say cube root of negative 27 will give me negative 3. Cube root of x to the power 3. Those two will cancel each other out, so it's just going to be x. And cube root of 64 will be 4. Okay. Any questions? That is then it. Yeah. Okay. Let me just finish quickly. You guys, you are then more than ready for tomorrow's test or tutorial. Sorry. Please remember a cheat sheet. Right? You're writing in register. Almost, yeah. You're writing in register and it's only half an hour or at least 35 minutes. But you'll also get time to read. Okay. I posted those tests for those of you that want to revise. If you've got any questions, just ask. Mm.